Welcome into this week's Europa League Matchday 5 video where we'll look at the best bets and predictions for Europa League Matchday 5. We're going to look at 5 different games split into 2 different parlays for the picks this week. The first one will have 3 different games from the early slate. If you want more soccer picks in the Europa League, the Champions League, Conference League, other top leagues, you can give this video a like and also subscribe to the channel to help out the channel and stay updated for when there's more videos coming. The first game we'll look at Anderlecht and Porto. Belgian side, Anderlecht are 5th right now in the overall standings at 3-1-0. They have wins of 2-1, 2-1, 2-0, and a 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, Porto are way down in 22nd, 1-1-2 after a 3-2 loss, 3-3 draw, 2-0 win, and 2-1 loss. That makes the both teams a score bet 3-1 for both of these teams in the Europa League. In all competitions, Porto have now lost 3 in a row, 2-1, 4-1, and 2-1. But in 19 games across all matches this season, they've scored in all but an away game to Sporting. They'll expect a big response here after losing in the Cup this weekend to a 3rd division team in Morenz. Anderlecht have only lost 3 times across all of their 22 matches this season as well, only failing to score 3 times in those games and 0 times in their past 12. When playing at home in all competitions, Anderlecht's last 5 games have all been wins with score lines of 6-0, 4-0, 2-0, 3-0, and 2-1. I'll expect Porto to score here. They do very rarely not score, but they also rarely perform well on the road in this tournament with just 1 win in 14 road Europa League games over a number of recent years, and they've conceded in all of those 14. This looks like a good both teams to score bet. Next up in leg 2 of parlay number 1, Lazio, Ludogorets, Razgrad. Lazio sits top of the pile, the only team right now to win all 4 of their Europa League games, while scoring their opponents 11-2. Pedro's been a good bet if you were playing anytime goal-scoring props, as he scored in 3 straight Europa League games. They're going to host Bulgarian side Ludogorets, who may be first and undefeated in Bulgaria, 13-2-0. But in the Europa League, they've been struggling. They're 34th. They have losses of 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, and a 0-0 draw. Now, Lazio just won 3-0 this weekend. The Bologna did take a red card early on. Regardless, Lazio has now won 7 straight, outscored opponents 18-3 in that time, and still have only failed to score once in all comps this season, that being away to Juventus. Now, they could easily win this game by 2 or 3, but even 1 might do if they get the shutout. Ludogorets have been poor this tournament, and historically they've been bad in the Europa League on the road, winning only 3 of 19 away Europa League games going back over a number of seasons. We'll just ask Lazio to win here. That could be good enough all by itself, around -107 odds. If you choose to slightly improve it, let's look to Besiktas and Maccabi Tel-Aviv. Turkish side, Besiktas has only had a mediocre start to the Europa League. Their campaign, they're 2-0-2. They're mid-pack right now at 18th, but they may be able to move closer to locking up a top 24 spot or even moving into the top 8 when they host 35th placed Maccabi Tel-Aviv. They've lost all 4 of their games and have been outscored 11-2. Maccabi has given up multiple goals in each game, including 5 away to Ajax last game. Besiktas also suffered a heavy defeat to Ajax in matchday 1, losing 3-0. Followed that up with a 3-1 loss to Eintracht Frankfurt. They've now won back-to-back games over Lyon, 1-0, and Malmo, 2-1. Besiktas are only 6th right now in Turkey. They haven't won in any of their last 4. Now, after a start to the season that saw them go undefeated in 8 games, they now have only 4 wins across 11, so they won't come into this game in very good form. The both teams to score is 4-1 of late in their games. Season long in all matches, there's been 2 or more goals in 17 of 19, so that's a way to look too, is simply over 1.5 in a parlay. It's a similar story for Maccabi, who started the season strong, only 1 loss in 12, but they now have only 1 win in 5 and 3 wins in their last 10. If you look at all of their matches. In the Europa League over the years, Maccabi only has 3 road wins in 13 in this tournament, and they've conceded in 12 of those 13. They'll have the rest advantage, having been off since November 10th. Besiktas, though, haven't been in good form, but they have scored at least in 9 of 10. They've also scored in 17 of 19 overall games this season, and they'll welcome back top scorer Ciro Immobile from injury. You'd have to think Besiktas can get the win here. If you wanted the best bets, the best odds, throw them in there for the win, but a double chance, a draw, no bet, or simply to score could also just slightly bump up this parlay. So, Anderlecht, Porto, both teams to score with the Lazio win would be good enough on its own, around -107. I'm just going to throw in Besiktas to score, bump it up to +113. Now let's go to one more parlay. 2 games for these Europa League predictions. And we'll have 1 earlier game, 1 later game. We'll start with AZ, Alkmaar, and Galatasaray, 17th in the standings. AZ will host third. Galatasaray. AZ have conceded in all 4 of their games, losing 2-0 and 1-0, and winning 3-2 and 3-1. The 2 wins came at home, which is where they'll be here, playing at home in the Netherlands. Now, only Ajax, in scoring 13, have scored more than Gala's 12 when it comes to Europa League scoring this campaign, but the 8 goals they've conceded is more than anyone else so far in the top 17, and it's equal to or more than anyone in the top 28. In fact, if we look at all teams, only Qarabag, 29th, Maccabi, 35th, and Dynamo Kyiv, 36th, have allowed more goals than Galatasaray. Other top teams around them in the standings have only allowed 2, 1, 4, 3, and 2 goals. So while they're scoring, they've certainly not been playing well defensively. But wins are wins. Gala is 3-1-0. They have wins of 3-1, 4-3, 3-2, and a draw of 2-2. Scoring 3 and beating Tottenham 3-2 is impressive, albeit that did very much look like a high-scoring game on paper, and it was, but they've also been conceding to teams like Rigas, PAOK, and Elfsborg as well. Gala won this weekend and is 13-2-0 in their last 15 across all matches, scoring in all of those games as well. I would expect them to continue to score here. AZ also won this weekend, but it's just their second in 10, so they're not in great form at all. They've conceded in 13 straight, scored in 5 straight, and when playing at home, though, if you look at just their home form, they've scored now in 14 straight games. AZ just beat another Turkish opponent in Fenerbahce, 3-1 last round. Now, while I always see Gala scoring, I think AZ can and also will score as well. For whatever reason, AZ has found success over Turkish opponents in recent years. They're an undefeated 4-3-0. Victor Osimhen scored twice versus Spurs. He's always a great goal-scoring prop for Gala. And as a straight bet, this could easily look like a good both teams to score and over 2.5, or simply both teams to score for leg 1 of this 2-leg parlay, which the second leg will go to a game featuring 2 teams from some of the top leagues in the world, Tottenham and Roma. Europa League favorites. Tottenham are 7th in the league right now, and they lost last game, though, 3-2 to Galatasaray. In the EPL, they just went to Manchester and shocked Man City, who have been in a slump. They beat them 4-0 away this weekend. They're now 6th in the EPL. Roma's Europa League games have all been close. They're 1-2-1. They have a 1-1 draw, a 1-0 loss, a 1-0 win, and a 1-1 draw. So a lot of unders there for them. In Serie A, Roma, though, have been awful. They're 12th right now. They're 3-4-6. They've been outscored on the season 18-14, and they've lost 3 straight. Include all matches this season, and Roma are 4, 6, and 7. So forget the name brand of this team right now. This is not the Roma team of past years. In fact, if we just look at all road games for Roma this season, they've still yet to win a game. They're 0-5-4. The stats away to England teams get even worse, with just 1 win in their last 23 trips to a team playing in England, and that 1 win came way back in 2001. I would think that Tottenham could get the win here, just in case, since Roma's Europa League games have been tight. Let's go for the double chance that Tottenham to win or draw. So Tottenham double chance, both teams to score, AZ and Galatasaray, coming in at minus 120 odds. Those will be my 2 Europa League parlays and predictions for this week. What are yours? Share them down there in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And good luck in the Europa League this week.